Now, these are some of the images of the police response in Hong Kong to a major protest today. Police fired tear gas and rubber bullets into crowds of demonstrators to try to quell and disperse the crowd. The protest is over a proposed extradition bill that is seen by many as an attack on Hong Kong's relative independence from China. It's a situation that has Hong Kong expatriates in this country closely watching. The CBC spoke to some of them about their concerns.
They know that it is useless in a sense, but they still go on the street. That is the part that I feel I'm very moved.
I'm very sad. It's because it is the place that I was born and I grew up and got educated. If the bill passed, we are expecting that would be exodus.
Not to worry.
I think within 2-3 years, a lot of the 300,000 Canadians in Hong Kong will come back.
Now we're joined now in studio by Mimi Lee. She's organizing a picnic today in Toronto in support of Hong Kong protesters. So let's talk about this extradition bill, Mimi, and what the concerns are.
The concerns really, when they pass the bill, anybody separate in Hong Kong can be just requested by the Chinese government to bring into China and do whatever they want, basically.
So why is that so upsetting for the people of Hong Kong?
The very first major thing that people have to understand is the law standard, how they function in China is very different from the westernized world. And I think that is the major thing, because you don't know what they're going to do to you, and people just disappeared, in thin air.
We've seen that in recent years, people, as you say, just disappearing, booksellers, for example, in Hong Kong, and then turning up in custody in mainland China. But the people taking to the streets, it was 1 million protesters over the weekend.
That's right.
We're hearing reports of tens of thousands today. Does that mean the concern is in any way diminishing, or what does that tell you in terms of the crowds you're seeing in the streets?
Well, basically what happened is after that 1,000,003 people on the street over the weekend, the government is still standing firm, saying that they are going to pass the bill. And they are pushing it really fast. They are not even pushing it through the Legislation Council, which now, because they have unseated so many people actually voted by the citizens, the Legislation Council is no longer really representing the people anyway. But regardless, there was still hope in a way that the people who was appointed will still sort of listen to a little bit here and there and maybe, push it around or delay it some sort. By skipping the whole thing, that means they are just going to push it right away. And they want to push it. Initially, we thought they're going to push it all together on the 12th, which is today, which is exactly why we're having all these things going on today. But seems that it can't be happened today, and it might very likely going to be third reading on the 20th.
Okay, so if I'm understanding what you're saying, that the protests in the streets have not discouraged the government in any way.
No, and that's exactly why it makes everybody so upset globally. Like all of us, originally from Hong Kong, we are very upset because that whole situation had gone down so badly within the last 5 years. Like everything has been from the explaining on that, basic law and everything with the white paper and all that crap going on. It's just really, really upsetting with people that, like me, came from Hong Kong and seeing what's happening right now.
So when you see those images, when you hear of rubber bullets, when you see the riot police, how does it make you feel?
I feel very helpless. Actually, I believe a lot of us feel very helpless at this point because we don't know what we can do.
What are you hearing from friends and family there?
Well, it's like anything, right? There are still a lot of people think that they're just not making the city safe anymore. They are just, whatever. It's just a little amount of people. And that's exactly why we want more people to come out to tell those people who think these people are the little people, and they actually know it's not little people that those people are representing. And of course, for people that have like minds like me, they're like going, this is not good. And a lot of my friends, they're like seriously thinking to come back to Canada.
What is your biggest fear about what is happening or what might happen there in Hong Kong?
Well, I have, like when I came down, people were saying this reminds them what happened in Beijing in '89. Now, I was not totally aware at the time what was happening in '89 because I was studying and I was not following as closely to the news and everything. But of course, everybody knows what happened afterwards. And the way that they're saying, the way that the police in Hong Kong are handling this whole situation last night, which is today in Hong Kong, is very similar with what they were doing in '89 in Beijing. And I think that's exactly what was everybody's concern, is that they would just come into the city and take over everything and just end that so-called, one country, two system, which has the limitation anyway, like they have been destroying all along. But at least we thought we have time. We thought we have 50 years. We thought, there are things that we can do along the way. But this is sort of like giving people the thinking that, it's going to happen like any time now.
Imminent. Could happen at any time. I know you're organizing this picnic here in Toronto.
Yes. And when I organized the picnic, it was not like that, right? So this is not what we want to see.
We live in Canada. You live in Canada. What do you hope the Canadian government does?
Well, as a matter of fact, I work with a nonprofit organization, and we have been lobbying the Canadian government the whole time. And we want them to actually stand up and tell the Chinese government they cannot do this to Hong Kong. And look at that. And make sure that, everybody is monitoring what's going on with Hong Kong, because all these big countries, they endorse that agreement between China and Britain. So if you endorse it in the day one, you're supposed to make sure that everything is actually going to be fine, because we trusted you people, right?
Okay. We'll see if they're listening in Ottawa. Mimi, thanks so much for coming in. I appreciate it.
Thank you.